We have some huge breaking news today. Bambu Lab just released a brand new 3D printer called the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. And this thing is super cool. This 3D printer is a direct competitor to the original Prusa Mini Plus. In this video, we're going to be going through all of the juicy details and compare cost, ease of assembly, build volume, appearance, print speed, materials, the ecosystem / slicers, multicolor printing capabilities, sound levels, and at the very end, I'll give the verdict. All right, so let's just jump right into it and start with the cost. So the Prusa Mini has been a hugely successful and very popular 3D printer, and it comes in at $459 USD. And let's compare it to the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. Comes in at a cost at $299. So that's a huge price improvement on the Bambu Lab A1 Mini over the Prusa Mini. When it comes to cost, the Bambu Lab A1 Mini has it beat. So let's look at the ease of assembly. So the Prusa Mini Plus comes semi-assembled. So you do have to do some assembly after you get it, or you could get the kit, which is a ton of work to assemble for $429. And this is just for the printer. Let's compare that with the Bambu Lab A1 Mini plus the AMS. I'll show you what the AMS is as well. So like I said, the price comes in at $299 just for the printer. But if you get it with the AMS Lite combo, it's $459. And the Bambu Lab A1 Mini comes completely pre-assembled, unlike the Prusa Mini, which does require assembly. I think it's kind of funny that Bambu priced their printer at $459 with the AMS. So basically, they're taking a huge shot at Prusa right here. Same exact price, but you get the 3D printer and the automatic material system. So now we've seen that the Bambu Lab clearly beats the Prusa on cost. Next, let's take a look at the build volumes. They have the exact build volume at 180 millimeters cubed. And once again, you could tell that Bambu Lab basically looked at one of the best selling printers and said, what could we do to just completely crush them? And that's what they're doing with the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. So same exact build volume. Okay, let's take a look at the appearance. In my opinion, this printer here just looks so cool. It looks like an old computer or an old, like kind of just like a classic like Apple product even, or like Johnny Ives, the Apple designer, the old Apple designer, kind of that just really nice aesthetic look. It kind of looks like a cool space age robot. Whereas the Prusa, it looks decent. It looks cool. I like the orange accents, but it looks like a kit, and it is a kit. So you're kind of getting like a old-fashioned, now we can say old-fashioned looking 3D printer compared to this sleek, modern. It looks like just a cool appliance. Like if you had that on your desk, I mean, it looks really cool in my opinion. So that's the appearance. Now, here's a big one and a kind of interesting one, the print speed. Okay, so there's some really interesting things here that are happening. So let's take a look at this, some tweets here from Twitter. So 19 hours ago, Joseph Prusa just released a full bonkers benchy at 16 minutes with the Prusa Mini, and I think the timing on this is really suspicious. I mean, the day before I'm filming this the day before the A1 launches, and the day before it launches, he's announcing the Prusa Mini just got faster. And they must have been scrambling to release this. I mean, I've seen old videos from about a year ago of people printing really fast with their minis, but the timing is really interesting. But on their website, it still says 200 millimeters per second, which is kind of slow for nowadays. And then you even have Joel over here saying, my Prusa Mini is years old and hasn't been powered on in months. That's kind of a bad sign. I've updated to the alpha firmware and is printing like crazy. This is awesome, which I find funny because I think he's trying to balance working with Prusa and Bambu. So it's kind of interesting that their timing on this. You can see it's definitely a competition. So let's jump over to the Bambu printer. We got 500 millimeters per second velocity, that's the speed, but more importantly is the acceleration, because you get print speed only matters if you can accelerate quickly to that speed. And this we have 10,000 millimeters per second cube, and Prusa doesn't even state their acceleration. But with the new input shaping alpha firmware, I'm assuming they got the acceleration pretty fast if they're able to get a 16-minute benchy. So it's probably, the print speed might be comparable, But the Prusa Mini was definitely not designed to print that fast because they were basically throttling it, essentially. They're limiting the speed on the printer until now. Whereas this, they've definitely designed it to print fast. I mean, you can see it has linear rails instead of just the steel rods. So you can tell they definitely designed it to be fast. Okay, so that's speed. The Bambu Lab beats it on speed. Let's take a look at the suggested materials that it could print with. So let's go down here. Okay, so the Prusa Mini basically says you could print with anything, which I find interesting because if you look at the max nozzle temperature, it's 280 and the max heat bed is 100. And it's saying you can print anything, sure, okay. But if you go over here, Bambu has split it into two different categories. They're both under supported filament. However, we have ideal and not recommended, which I'm a little bit confused, excuse me, because we have supported filament and not recommended. So it's supported but not recommended, I guess. I guess that's what they're saying. Because the max hot end temperature goes up to 300 Celsius. It's hotter than the Prusa, which goes to 280. And then you have the heat bed, which the Prusa goes to 100, but this only goes to 80. So I'm not sure why Bambu decided to limit it at 80 Celsius, but that's what they did. So I'm assuming because they want this, because Bambu wants their printer, the A1 Mini, to be for everyone and to be really easy to use. They're only suggesting to use, well, actually, they suggest you could use all of them, but they're saying it's ideal to use these four, which makes sense because they're the easier filaments to print with. However, they're not saying you can't print with these materials here, but I'm guessing if you want the best experience, you use these basic materials instead of using all of these fancy materials that can be very difficult to print with. Moving on to the ecosystem/slicer. So with the Prusa, if you want to print on Wi-Fi, you have to get this Wi-Fi ESP adapter for $6.9. So I'm not sure why they don't just include that. Since it's so cheap, it probably costs them, I don't know, $1 or $2 to make this part here. I don't know why they just don't throw that in with the kit, but for some reason they decided to make that separate. So if you want to print on Wi-Fi, you need to get this extra chip. So here's Prusa Slicer, and then here is Bambu Studio. Basically, the slicers are very, very similar because Bambu basically used a lot of Prusa's work to build out their slicer, and that is kind of what happens if you release everything as open source. It is open source, so people can use your code. So that was Prusa's choice. And now their competitors are using it, which is a little bit sad, but it's just the business world can be brutal. With Bambu's slicer, you can do cloud printing or LAN. And from my experience, the LAN printing is a little bit fickle unless they fix that by now, but cloud printing is great if you don't mind using their cloud print service. Also, Bambu Lab has the iPhone/mobile app, which is really cool because you can control your printers with your phone. Okay, so that's basically the ecosystem. Also, it's cool that you can have multiple build plates in the Bambu slicer. That's a cool feature. And everything's just really polished from the hardware to the software. Everything is really great when it comes to Bambu. You can even tell they've improved the appearance of it compared to this kind of clunky looking interface. So that is the ecosystem/slicer. Now let's take a look at multicolor capabilities. So if we head over here, you can see that we have the AMS Lite, which is it allows you to print four different colors at once. That's one of the main selling points of the Bambu Lab A1 Mini, is that you can print with 4 colors at an affordable price, and everything's pre-assembled. And yeah, a lot of great selling points. The Mini does not have multicolor capabilities. Prusa does have the MMU3 upgrade kit, but that's only for the MK3S Plus. I don't know why. Let's see. And the MK4, it looks like. I don't know why they didn't put that up there since MK4 is newer, but that's an extra $300, and it doesn't even work with the Mini, so it's not even really applicable at all. So with the Prusa Mini, you cannot do multicolor. Now let's take a look at the sound levels of printing. So let me go up here. The sound levels, because a lot of times you don't want to have a very loud 3D printer in your office, bedroom, or garage, or wherever you put your printer. Having a loud printer can be annoying, and Bambu Lab printers are relatively loud actually, except for it looks like this printer here, the Bambu Lab A1, they are definitely trying to make it as quiet as possible. So it says silent in action, subtle in appearance. So they're saying they have some sort of noise cancellation for their stepper motors. We'll see how that works. But the Prusa, some people say that it can be pretty quiet if it's printing slow, doing some basic movements. But if you print infill, people are saying it can be rather loud. I don't know what rather loud means in terms of a quantifiable sound level, but I'm assuming the Bambu Lab A1 will be quieter. That's the cost, ease of assembly, build volume, appearance, print speed, materials, ecosystem, and slicer, multicolor capabilities, sound levels. Now, what is the verdict? The Prusa Mini, while it may have been one of the most popular printers, looks like it's getting replaced in every way, basically, by the Bambu Lab A1 Mini plus AMS Lite. So if you're picking between these two printers, it would be really hard for me to suggest the Prusa Mini for all the obvious reasons. It just seems that in every way, Bambu Lab has it beat. So it's definitely it's a competitive world for the 3D printing companies, but it is cool to see the innovation and to see prices coming down. So once again, if you just want basically the equivalent to the Mini, the price is only $299. That's actually insanely affordable compared to the $459 semi-assembled kit. So when it comes to price, it's better. When it comes to, let's just go through all of them. Cost, Bambu Lab has it beat. Ease of assembly, Bambu has it beat. Ease of assembly, we have Bambu. Now I'm just going to copy paste this because it's going to be all Bambu. Build volume, actually it's a tie. The appearance, I like the Bambu Lab appearance better. Print speed, Bambu Lab beats it. Materials, Bambu Lab beats it. Ecosystem, Bambu Lab beats it. Multicolor, Bambu Lab beats it. Sound level, Bambu Lab. So basically, in every single way, the Bambu Lab is better than the Prusa Mini. And obviously, this printer has just come out, so we'll have to wait and see how it actually performs in real life. But judging by Bambu Lab's past, I'm assuming it's going to do everything that they say it does. In the end, if you have to choose between these two, I think it's an easy choice. The Bambu Lab A1 Mini.